Hi, it's Carol from bookreporter.com, and I'm here to share what you're going to see on the site on Friday, March 13th. Yes, it's Friday the 13th. I feel like I've been having a lot of those recently, but Mercury's out of retrograde. We already did the full moon this week, so let's get right into the books that we're going to be sharing with you. First, we've got the final book in the Wolf Hall trilogy by Hilary Mantel, The Mirror and the Light. The books before were The Wolf Hall and Bringing Up the Bodies. Hearing lots of buzz about this, and for those who are fans, here is the conclusion you've all been waiting for. Next, we have A Good Neighborhood by Therese and Fowler. This book starts out in a very, very quiet, sleepy kind of town in North Carolina where there's a woman. She's been raising her son as a single mother. He's biracial, and he's getting ready to go off to college, and she's getting ready for the empty nest. Or is she really ready for the empty nest? She's, all of a sudden, people move in next door to them that are, let's just say they're ready to raise the neighborhood just to build themselves their big house that they've always wanted. And they're kind of like not really concerned about what the neighborhood is. They're more concerned about themselves at this point. Between these two houses, there's a beautiful oak tree, a very, very old oak tree that's going to stir up some controversy. And between these two families, there's going to be a lot of going at odds. And at the same time, their two children are going to be falling for each other. What's going to happen? How is this whole thing going to interact, and is it going to fall apart? Such a great story about human nature and what we've been seeing in a lot of places around the country where all of a sudden there's lots of change coming in. And what does it mean for these established neighborhoods? And what does it mean for established patterns that people have been enjoying all this time? And A Good Neighborhood will be a Book Reporter Bets On selection. Next, we've got My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I read this book over the summer. It was a Book Expo Buzz selection. And in it, there's a young woman who's been at a boarding school, and she was having a relationship with one of her professors. She didn't really know that's what it was. She just knew he loved her. And all of a sudden, lots of inappropriate things were happening for her, but she wasn't really seeing it that way. She was just seeing that this man loved her, and he was going to take her away from a life that she really, really didn't enjoy and love. And all these years later, somebody else has called him to task and said that they were sexually abused by him at school. And all of a sudden, Vanessa's reading this, and Vanessa's like, but wait a second, that's what happened to me, but he loved me. And we're realizing that really, in her naivety, she didn't realize what was going on to her all along. It's one of those very, very powerfully written books looking at sexual abuse, looking at what's going on, and in this Me Too kind of a world, what it meant for this young girl that was told about in this novel. In 5 Years by Rebecca Serle is this really terrific, brisk book. It is the Good Morning America Book Club selection this month. What I really loved about it is, as you open the book, this young woman has her life completely together. Danny is a young lawyer. She knows exactly where she's going to be in 5 years. She's going to be a junior partner. She's going to have married her boyfriend, and she's going to have a apartment in Gramercy Park. It's all going to be her perfect life. And then one night after she gets engaged to her boyfriend, she has a dream. And in that dream, she's in a different apartment. There's a different guy next to her. And things are not really the way she saw this whole thing coming together. So she pushes that to the back of her head. And, it's not something that really, really happened. And then she also looks at the calendar, and it's 2025. So how's all this going to change in these 5 years? Well, she's not really sure what's going on, but one day she's out with her best friend, and who walks in but the guy that was in her dream? And how did he actually fit into this world, and what happens from there? It's so cleverly plotted, it's so completely tight, and it really makes you think about, we have our lives completely planned out, but then what really does happen in 5 years? It's going to be a Bets On selection, and last year, her book, The Dinner List, was a book that I absolutely loved, and it also was a Bets On selection. Next, we have Separation Anxiety by Laura Zigman. This book is so outrageously fun. We've got a woman who, her son is a teenager, her husband's not paying a lot of attention to her these days, and she's down cleaning the basement one day, and she comes across the sling that she used to carry her son in. And she remembers that sling with a lot of really lovely times. Her son was bonded to her at that point. Everything in her life was really, really coming up roses. She was an aspiring writer. She had done a children's book, and it was just a different time in her life. So she puts the sling back on and starts carrying the dog around the house. And as she carries the dog around the house, she feels a lot better, a lot less anxious about what's going on in her world. And then she starts carrying the dog everywhere. And let's just say, separation anxiety is something this woman's definitely feeling, and the dog is helping coach her through it. And we'll have my Bets on commentary about the Jetsetters by Amanda Eyre Ward. Hope you enjoyed our review last week. And you also enjoyed the video and podcast that we did with Amanda as well. We will have 3 books that we will be giving away. We have 3 terrific books. These contests are going to run the week of March 16th. First up, we've got Big Lies in a Small Town by Diane Chamberlain. I listened to this on audio, absolutely loved it, and it will be a Bets on selection. Next, we have The Winemaker's Wife by Kristin Harmel. And this book takes place both during World War II and again in 2019. And we've got a young woman who is going to look at a vineyard, and we take a look at what it meant to people in the past and what it means to her at the present time in her life. And we have Serenade for Nadia. This book has been translated from the Turkish. It's based on something that actually happened off the coast of Turkey during World War II when a boat was not allowed to dock and what happened to the people that were on that ship. So we've got 3 big contests this week. Now, those of you who have been with us for a long time know what you have to do to enter. Either check the site every week next week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to see what book we're offering, or sign up for our newsletter below so that you'll never miss a contest. Now, I'm also going to be sharing a recipe this week for something that we absolutely love in our family. It's called King Ranch Chicken. It's this casserole that you make with chicken and tortillas, and it's great. I will just warn you that you always think this is going to be a lot quicker recipe than it is. It takes a lot longer every time we make it, but we love it. So I'll be sharing that recipe with you as well. And we'll have our interview with Marie Benedict, the author of Lady Clementine that we spoke about last week. Looking forward to seeing you on Friday. Thanks, everyone.